Hey everyone, so today we're going to be doing another tutorial on character gameplay. I'm not sure if this would be considered intermediate or advanced, or just part 2 of character gameplay. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be making a hovering state after double jumping, and we're going to be doing invincibility against like projectiles and stuff like that. We're going to be picking up boxes or crates, whatever, and placing them and throwing them. And that's about it for this video. Alright, to get started with, just have the exit over here that you're going to get up from jumping on top of this. Then this is a minigun I found on the Dreamiverse that targets the player. And you need the player tag on the player for them to target. And then of course I've sculpted these power boots, which are going to allow us to double jump and glide. And it's just some simple animation logic on there right now. Alright, so what we first want to do is we want to be able to pick up these boots. So let's go ahead and go over to these boots. I should have the microchip open already on your save. So, if it's not already, you can go ahead and scope in and then do L1 and X to open it. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and open up our gadgets menu. We're going to go to the sensors and input section, and we're going to go ahead and get a tag. And we're going to go ahead and name this tag boots or power boots. Something like that. Or we could do Powerup underscore power boots. That works. And it's going to be a permanent power-up, so once you pick it up, you have it forever. So basically, Powerup power boots, when this is sensed, we're just going to destroy ourselves. We're not going to do much of a gameplay or animation here, because that's not what this tutorial is about. But so when this is sensed, it's going to destroy it, and so basically we want, when this is sensed, for whatever sensed it to pick it up, which is going to be our player. So we're going to go ahead and go to our gadgets menu. The way I'm destroying it is with the destroyer in the movers and output section. I don't think I made that clear, but back over to our player puppet. If the logic isn't open already, you can go ahead and scope into the puppet with L1 and X, and then open the logic with L1 and X at its feet. Then we're going to go ahead and open our gadgets menu, open logic and processing, get out a microchip, and we're going to go ahead and open up this microchip, as well as rename it to just, it's going to be our boots pickup. And this is depending on how you want this done. Like, if you want this to be persistent in your entire game, you're probably going to want to use a variable. If not, and you just want it in this singular scene, you'd probably want to use a counter. A counter is kind of easy. You just have our trigger zone, which we're going to set up that first actually. So in our gadgets menu, in our sensors and input, get a trigger zone, and we're going to set it to tag for things to detect in the properties panel. And you can get there with L1 and square, one hovering over it, and then name to detect is, let's see here, we want the Powerup power boots, and we're going to go to the second tab to get the zone shape. We're going to change it to a cube, and of course we're going to go ahead and move this out to the center of our puppet model, and we're going to go ahead and scale it down until it fits our player. Let's see. That looks good. Alright. And that would either go into your increase count on your counter, which would then go into our logic for turning on the power boots, or what you would do is we're going to go ahead and... Well, I'm going to actually do both of these because it's not that difficult. So we have this counter here, and we're going to go ahead and get a variable as well, so we can show off both methods. And I'm going to go ahead and open up the properties of the variable and set the minimum value to be 0 and the maximum value to be 1. And we're going to make this persistent dream. And I'm going to name this P for pickup, and then power boots, or underscore power boots. There we go. And you can go ahead and have this on your player, but if you have watched my motherboards tutorial, I would suggest putting this variable on your motherboard instead. Alright, and now that we have that, we're going to go ahead and get a variable modifier as well. And that is also in our gadgets logic and processing section. Open up the properties of that. I'm going to get the variable name to be P underscore power boots, and we want to set it to 1. And we're going to go ahead and the detected port of our Powerup trigger zone is going to go into our variable modifier. And then we're going to get a wireless transmitter from our sensors and input. And this is for our other method, if you just want to have it in this scene from this counter. And we're going to go ahead and output the counter full into the signal to receiver of the wireless transmitter. And we're going to name this wireless transmitter Powerup, or P underscore power boots. So we basically have the same thing for the variable and the wireless transmitter. Alright. I'm gonna change the color in the icon. And now I want another microchip. So logic and processing in our gadgets menu, and then there's microchips. And this is gonna be our power boots logic. And this is what is gonna let us hover. And we're probably gonna actually put this somewhere right here so we can get input from the controller. Because we only want to hover when we're holding down X, not constantly. Alright, and first thing we're gonna want to do is we're going to go ahead and get a puppet interface, which you can find one in gameplay gear, and then this very last thing, or you could just copy it from the puppet logic right here. And we want to see when we are when we're like jumping, and we have double jumped. So we need to figure out where that would be. Upper body, jump ascent. No, there's a way to tell. Double jumped right here. So once we've double jumped and we're holding down X, we want to hover. So we're going to go ahead and get a counter out in our logic and processing section. And then we're going to open up the puppet interface property panel and go to the outputs page on the second page. Double jumped that output. We're going to go ahead and put into the increase count of the counter input. So when we double jump, we'll be able to hover. And we want to get a node out, and then this is going to be for our X button, so we know when we are actually, we are doing the hovering. So we're going to go ahead and get the cross button from the output of the controller sensor and plug it into this node. And then one last thing is we need to figure out if we actually have the power boots. So in sensors and input, we can get the wireless transmitter, or no, not wireless transmitter, but wireless receiver, and also a from logic and processing, a variable modifier. And once you get this variable modifier out, we're going to go ahead and open up the properties. We're going to change the get, and we're going to change the variable name to p_powerboots. And then for the wireless receiver, we're going to do p_powerboots. And again, you only need one of these. It depends on what you want. And then the zone size, we're going to do scene. Alright. And now we want an AND gate. And when the counter is full, we're holding down cross. And if the signal from the wireless receiver is full, which means we have it, or the variable modifier says we have it, we want to hover. And what do we do when we hover? Well, we probably want to play an animation or a pose, and we also want to slow down our speed. So what we're going to do, or fall speed. So what we're going to want is we're going to get a mover, and we're going to go ahead and open up the properties of this. And we want to set the forward speed to 0. And we're going to go ahead and go on the second page. And we only want to do damp in Y, basically. Nothing else. Mover direction dampening 0. Movement strength is 0. And I'm going to do local space. And of course that changed what the Y was, so in this case I would normally pull this up, but to be easier we're going to do dampen Z instead. So now instead of falling quickly, we're going to slow down our fall. We can increase this even more to get better slow fall. Another thing you could do is you could actually turn down the gravity of the puppet. So it depends on how you want to control it. I want to use this mover here, because what if we want higher gravity or lower gravity? The dampening would get messed up, I believe, or not be as effective depending on the gravity. So we're going to be going with a mover. So I'm going to go ahead and output the AND gate signal, the result, into the power of our mover. So only when we are doing that, we actually want the, you know, movement to dampen. And I don't know why, but I think I put these in the wrong body part. Or one of these I did. Yes, okay. Yeah, I want that on the leg. Did I? Oh, I didn't set up this either. That's strange. There we go. Okay, there we go. I'll probably fix that in the original scene, so you won't have to do that. Alright, so now we want to only have these boots visible when we have them equipped. So by default, we're going to want to turn these off. And this is going to make it so you can't see them, which is fine, but you probably want to be able to see them to turn them back on when you animate. So in the visibility section, I think it's called that, the show/hide section, we're going to go ahead and turn off preview invisibility. And that's going to give us our vision of these back. And then in our gadgets menu, we're going to go ahead and get a, there we go. Alright, so next we're going to want to get a keyframe, and this is going to go ahead and turn on our boots. So go ahead and scope in and turn back on everything. Alright, there we go. And this is going to turn on from our wireless receiver and from our variable modifier here. And we want to be able to reset this counter, so when we land, we're going to go ahead and reset this. So let's see here. Sliding, foot scrape. Where is it? On ground. There we go. That will reset our counter. So now we should have functioning power boots. One thing that we need to do, I believe, is actually set up the double jump portion. So in this keyframe that we did to turn on our power boots, like the model, go ahead and scope out of the puppet group and open the blank puppet. And we're going to add double jump height, which is right here in the first page. So now we can double jump when we have the boots. So let's go ahead and try it out now. I think it should work. Hold on. Yeah? Okay. Yeah. Alright. Yeah. Except we're not getting the actual full height. Just, because we're getting dampening when we're getting dampening when we are, you know, we're getting dampening when we double jump, so we're not getting the full height of our double jump. That's what's happening. Took me a little while to put that into words. So what we're going to want to do is we want to make it so after a certain amount of time, we actually are able to double jump, or not double jump, but hover after double jumping. So we're going to say about half a second maybe, or full second. Depends. Let's do 0.6 seconds. And we're going to get a timer to do this. So in your gadgets menu, logic and processing, a timer, go and place that down. Open the properties, set the target time to 0.6 seconds. And we're going to have the counter full output of our counter for the double jump. Go into the start timer of our timer. And the reset timer is, of course, going to be our on-ground signal. Go ahead and open up the timer. And we're going to delete the cable coming from the counter going into the AND gate. And we're going to output timer finished into A. Okay. So now it should give us a much better result. There we go. It's like we're hover walking. And now we're probably that's loud. I'm not sure why that's not killing us. Let's see here. Maybe it did kill us, it just didn't hit us. Let me actually go into test mode. And see if we're getting hit at all. No, I think it's because it is too small. So I'm gonna go ahead and change the size of it. Oh no, I don't want to close this. This is important. This is the gun, not the gun logic, but the bullet logic. We're gonna deal with that in a minute. That noise, that cutscene is really loud. I think I'm gonna turn it off. If I can. I don't want that cutscene. How do I get rid of you? There it is. Particle effects. End of level. Locate exit. And yeah, we don't want that. It's a bit ridiculous. Still don't know if it's actually hitting. I mean, it's technically hitting the player, but it's... The bullets are going too fast, so it doesn't recognize that it's hitting the player. So we're going to go ahead and turn down the bullet speed on this thing. Again, I'm probably going to have this fixed when you get to do this, because that's not what this tutorial is. Hey, that worked. Cool. So now we need to figure out how to do invincibility. And also, that's probably why you don't want to make the variable on the player right here, because when we died, we weren't actually able to, we didn't have this anymore, like, because that variable was deleted. So if we keep it off of the player, then that variable won't get deleted. Still going like way too fast to even detect hit detection. See, now we keep the boots on. Alright, so now let's get an invincibility power-up. So we're gonna actually make this from scratch, because I forgot to make it. So let's just find a shield. Any shield would do. This one, I like this one. And I'm gonna go ahead and make it pretty small. Or decent, not huge. And then I'm gonna go over here. I'm actually gonna copy this. And we're gonna use this as a base for our logic. And over here, we want to actually make these not collidable, because I forgot to do that. That is an important part, or else you're going to run into your pickups. You don't want that. So over here, we're going to go ahead and we're going to copy, just get this logic chip out, and we're going to go ahead and delete that group. And then we're going to go ahead and group this with our shield here, and we're going to place it in the middle as close as possible. We're going to open that, scope out, and we're going to go ahead and apply to the group the microchip. If you open up the microchip properties panel, on the very bottom there's apply to object. That will apply the forces to that object. So now we get it spinning, and we just want to change this tag name from Powerup Power Boots to Powerup Invincibility. Alright. And now when we pick this up, it will give us invincibility. But we have to program that first. So first of all, we're going to go ahead and copy this Power Boots variable, and we're going to change this to invincibility. Now, you can make this timed if you want. If you've seen the previous video, it's not that difficult. That's what we did in the previous video, is that we made power-ups that expire, but these are permanent pickup power-ups. I figured we might as well alternate between the two, since we did that in the last power-up video, or character gameplay video. And we just want to copy this boots pickup over, and we're going to go ahead and change the trigger zone details in here to Powerup Invincibility, and then change the name to Invincibility Pickup. And we want to change the variable modifier in here, P underscore invisibility, and then we want to change this wireless transmitter. P underscore invincibility. And now we are going to go ahead and copy this over. And we don't need this. And we don't need this. Or this. Or this. Just want that stuff in the lower left corner. Because when we're invincible, it's actually pretty easy to make the character... Well, the logic on the character is pretty easy. The reason why I have that logic board open over here, right here, is because the bullet actually needs to make changes. Anything that damages your player needs to make changes in order for invincibility to work. Or you could do a different way, which I will show you first. So first off, we're probably going to want to fix up our variable modifier and wireless receiver, which is just changing the transmitter name and the wireless receiver, and changing the variable name in the variable modifier. Then we're going to go ahead and open up this keyframe, and we're just going to... Actually, we're going to make a new keyframe, because that one has too much stuff on it to get rid of. Alright, and now with this keyframe, you can do one of two things. You could turn off your health manager and your puppet. This comes with disadvantages, however, because if you want the player to be able to heal, they won't be able to heal. And these two won't output, so you won't be able to make a health bar. So, what I believe is the best method is we open up the properties panel of our puppet here. We go over to the labels section, and I'm going to turn off the recording. We want to label our players as friend and target, and basically anything that's labeled as target is something that will be able to take damage. So we can go ahead and close this now, or not close it, but we're going to go ahead and open up that keyframe we placed. And we're going to turn off the target label on our puppet. So when we're invincible, we're no longer a target, therefore we won't be able to take damage. Because in any of our health modifiers that apply damage, we're going to make it so these can only apply damage to things with that target label on it. So if we go into the labels of our health modifier on this bullet here, there's a couple things we could do. First of all, you could either make it so it only applies to targets. So if you want it really simple and like damage is applied universally in your game, there's no sides or anything, you'd have target as this. So if this damage will only apply to targets, so now if this guy's invincible, he'll no longer be a target, so he can't take damage. But if you have, for example, multiple sides, and you want, like, good guys that have invincibility sometimes, then, actually, I'm not sure if that's even necessary, but another method you could do it. Yeah, if you want to make it take sides, if you do friend, for example, if you want to only apply to friends, because these are the bad guys, then you'd have two labels, and since he's still a friend, he'd take damage on this mode, any selected. But if we go to all selected, that means whatever we're hitting has to have all of these labels that we have selected. So with this bullet, we only want to deal damage to things that are friends and are a target. So if we turn off target, this is not fulfilled, so it's not going to deal damage to the player. So now we should be able to pick up this shield here, and we're going to be able to be invincible. So let's go ahead and play. Go ahead and pick up our power boots, and then get our shield. And as you can see, we are invincible. Pretty easy. Now, one last thing I want to do is I want to show how to pick up crates, because that's a pretty common thing in games, isn't it? So I just moved this because I'm hoping once we get over there, the distance will make it so we don't have to be shot at anymore. Okay. So first thing we're gonna want to do is we have the microchip here, and we want to make it so when we are in vicinity we can pick it up, and we can also put our arms out like we are, you know, picking up a crate. So here's what we're gonna do first, is we're gonna go ahead and open up our gadgets menu, and we're gonna go logic and processing, and we're gonna do a microchip. We're gonna go ahead and place it next to our power boots logic, or below it. I mean, I'm gonna change the name of our invincibility here. And then right here, a microchip down here. We're gonna go ahead and make the color white, and it's gonna be picking things up, so we're gonna do the movement thing. And this is gonna be picking up crates logic. Now this one is probably gonna be a little bit pretty big. So first of all, we're gonna want to find a button to pick up our crates with. I think we're going to use triangle, because that's usually interaction. So we're going to go ahead and open up the controller sensor properties, and we're going to get the triangle button, and we're going to plug it into this node that we made on our microchip. If you haven't put that down, it's in your logic and processing section node here. And now we have our input. So what we want is to do a couple things here. There's a plethora. The good thing about Dreams is that there's a lot of ways to do stuff. So you can probably find a different way to do this, but this is the way I want to do it. So first of all, we're going to go to our sensors and input section. We're going to get a tag. And this tag is going to be toggle pickup crate. So basically, when we press this button, we're going to flash this tag. In this tag, we're going to go ahead and put just anywhere in front of the player, basically. On the ground, preferably, because crates are going to be on the ground. So that is a good position, actually. Maybe a little bit forward more. And I'm not going to animate this because, well, I'm going to animate the holding, but if you want to make an animation for picking it up off the ground, I'm not going to be doing that. So first of all, we're going to want to make a, well, next we want to make a pose for actually picking it up. So I'm going to get a keyframe out because this is going to be, I just want to get this out of the way. So we get a keyframe from our animate menu, and then we're going to scope into the player, and we're going to go ahead and move our hands out. Now I'm being lazy and I'm using the IK system to move the hands. If you have animations like crouching and stuff you want to blend with your pickup animation, I would suggest rotating your arms instead of moving the hands, or else you're not going to get pretty results. Alright, now that we have that, let's see here. We want to, first of all, we want to know when we are actually picking up a crate, or we actually have a crate in our hands. So we're going to go ahead and get a trigger zone. And this trigger zone is going to be for tags. And we want this pretty small. And it's going to be in front of the player, about this size. If you can see it. If you can't, if you're just listening, then it's about, goes from the floor to the head, bottom of the head, and it's a sphere. And it's right above the logic chip. And then we want to place the tag down first, but we'll keep this trigger zone all set up first, because I don't want to type it in twice, the tag name. And when we have this trigger zone, we're going to go ahead and play this keyframe and toggle pickup crate. We want another tag here, and this tag is going to be the position where the crate actually sits. So I'm going to get a switch out from our sensors and input section just to turn on this keyframe so we can see where we want to crate. And I'm going to go ahead and get out a tag, and this is going to be the crate pickup position, or crate pickup pause. And I'm going to place this in between the player's hands. Alright. And now, let's see here. Probably want a way to throw the crate. So we're going to get another node. First I'm going to name this one pickup. And I'm going to copy this node now. And this is going to be throw. And just a precaution, depending on what button you use to throw, if you have another thing that uses that button, you're probably going to want to either use an exclusive gate or turn off the access to that button in the other microchip when this keyframe is active. So we're going to use the square button. So if you have a tag map to that, that's what I'm talking about. So when we have the trigger zone active, we're going to go ahead and be able to throw it. But first we want to actually have the pickup logic on the cube and everything else. So first of all, the toggle pickup crate, we want that to flash. So we want to get a signal manipulator from our logic and processing section of our gadgets menu. And we're going to go and open up the properties of that, go to the customer mapper, and we're going to do pull set on. Actually, the second thing in this, the second remapper mode is actually pulse on input on, so you can just use that. And we're going to use the pickup output of our node, and that's going to go into the signal manipulator's signal port, and the output signal is going to go ahead and go into our toggle pickup crate. So that's going to flash on when we are pressing triangle, but if we're not near any crates, it doesn't really matter now, does it? So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and one other thing we could do probably is if we want a button prompt, we're going to make a copy of this toggle pickup crate, and I'm going to go ahead and change this to be pickup crate detection. So this is going to let the crate know, or let the crate know that you are hovering over it to pick it up. So it's going to display a triangle sign over it to let you know. This is going to go up to our crate pickup position. That's going to be where the crate teleports to when you pick it up. Alright, well, that's about it for this for now until we get the crate pickup logic. So we're going to go ahead and over here to this microchip on our crate. And we're going to go ahead and we want to make a tag first, because we have a trigger trigger zone over there without a tag input that we want. I'm going to go ahead and place this in the lower left corner over microchip, and this is going to be for... what was it? Just crate, I believe. Or, no, it was crate, picked up crate, that's what it will be. And this is going to be actually not in the lower right corner, but over here on the right side, the microchip, and we're going to select it. And we want to move this gizmo here that pops up into the center of the crate, or what looks like the center, as close as you can get it. Alright. Next, we want a trigger zone. And this is going to be a tag trigger zone, and this is going to be the picked up crate detection. I think that's what we had over here, right? Toggle picked up crate detection. So that's going to be for our, you know, it's going to be for the prompt over the crate. And we're going to change the zone size to cube, and we're going to go ahead and shrink it down until it is the size of our cube, or the size of our crate, I should say. Alright. Looks good. We actually want it to be in the ground because the tag is in the ground, I think. Yes, it is. Okay. And then we want to copy this trigger zone, and then this is going to be for not picked up crate, but crate pickup. What is it? No, toggle pickup crate. Yep, that's what we want. And when this is on, we're going to go ahead and toggle this crate to be picked up. So we're going to go ahead and go into the logic and processing section of our, you know, gadgets mode, and we're going to get a signal manipulator, and we're going to open this, and we want to go to the custom remapper section, toggle output it on. So this is going to be our toggle, and the toggle pickup crate trigger zone is going to go in, the detected output is going to go into the signal, and then this will power on our picked up crate tag, and it's also going to power on a teleporter. So go ahead and get to the movers and output section of your gadgets menu, get a teleporter out, and this signal manipulator is going to turn on that teleporter, and we want a text displayer from our movers and output section, and this is going to be your button prompt. So we're going to open up this, we're going to do less than, triangle, greater than, and we're going to go to the very last page of the properties, or no, second to last, make this in the scene, and we're going to make this always on top. We're going to make this face the camera as well. And we're going to go ahead and move it above the crate. Alright, there we go. You can go ahead and get rid of the background if you want, I don't really care. We're going to use the trigger zone, pick up crate detection output into our text displayer. And we want to, what we want is actually, we want to make this crate movable. And we want to hope that the player won't be able to really move it without picking it up. So probably, you'd either want, I'm not sure, because the way we're going to throw it is we're going to actually apply physical force to it. So we're going to see if we can actually move this crate. So I'm just going to make a demo copy over here. And we're going to play. Let's see. Well, triangle didn't do anything. What's going on? Did I not hook that up? No, I did. Toggle pickup crate. What's going on, buddy? Oh, we didn't set up the teleporter correctly. Yeah, of course. Okay. So yeah, you want to open up the teleporter properties, and then the tag name is the crate pickup position or pause, and you want to match target orientation as well. And that position should be fine. Now I'm going to copy this, because I don't, for the life of me, want to walk past this gun turret thing. Alright, it does fall. Let's see. Let's play. Yeah, we cannot move it with the but normally. So we can pick it up, and that does not do exactly what we want it to do. So what we can do is I'm going to go ahead and move the pickup crate position outside of his hands. So we're going to go move this outwards. Alright. Now let's see how that works. Depends. It really depends on the size. So you might want to change the crate position. Not crate position, but crate teleporter gizmo position. Yeah. And this is the, what do we? We didn't set up the tag properly in here on our player. So on the player in the trigger zone we had, this needs to be crate picked up, I think. Or picked up crate, yep. There we go. So now we're lugging around this giant crate. And now we want to be able to throw it and also drop it. I think what's happening here is, first of all, this tag, I think, is rotated. Yeah, so we want to rotate our crate pickup position tag. So the Y is facing upwards. So we're going to rotate it by 90 degrees using the precise move tool. And then over on our crate, we want the, not the teleporter, but I think, no, teleporter is fine. The toggle pickup crate, we want that to extend like downwards, because that's on the floor technically. So that's going to allow us to pick up things that are above us but not below us. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and just go over there now this time. Hey, we made it. And we can actually drop it and pick it up. So we can actually go over here already and then pick it up here. That's really loud. But yeah, we can actually pick it up and then go over there. But what if we want to throw the crate? Well, that shouldn't be too hard. We're going to get an AND gate. So go to the Gadgets menu, Logic and Processing, AND gate. And then we're going to have the throw input go into B. And then the signal manipulator is going to go, signal is going to go into A of our AND gate. And this is on the puppet player, by the way. And then we're going to go ahead and get a force applier from our movers and output section. This is going to get a signal from the AND gate to turn on. We're going to open up the force applier properties. We go to the zone size and we're going to do cube. And we want this outside the range of our player. because, or actually, we want to only apply force to a certain label. I'm going to say we only want to apply force to objects. It really depends on what labels you're using in your scene, but I'm going to go ahead and label our crate as an object. So the force is applied on this crate only. And on the important properties page, we want this to be a directional force, not a radial force. So we're going to go ahead and change the force type to directional, and we want to change that arrow forwards, so it's facing outwards from our player. And 5.5 meters a second. Let's do 100% force strength. We want local space on. Alright, let's try this. And one last thing is this AND gate. We're going to go ahead and I think, yeah, we want the result to go into the signal manipulator as well, so we're no longer picking up a crate. Well, actually, is this a toggle? No, it's just a pulse. So I think instead of the signal manipulator outputting into the AND gate, we want this trigger zone actually. Now it's going to go ahead and go into our AND gate. So let's see how that looks. There we go. Now you can actually pick up and throw a crate. As for the crate respawning, what you could do is, that's a bit complicated actually. That's unfortunate. I think what we could do is cheap it out with a controller sensor and make it so it will respawn. And we want this to be not possessible because we're just using this as a cheapo method to respawn our crate. I'm not even sure how much this will affect the thermo, but we're going to go with the sensors at input, and we're going to get a laser scope, and we're going to move this laser scope, like the ball here, to be a bit high, and then we're going to move this down, and this is going to be pretty low, or go up pretty far. So basically what we're doing is when this is not activated, so when we're not anywhere near the ground, we're going to go ahead and respawn. So if we fall off the cliff, for example, and we want to also be not picked up, so we're going to go ahead and get an AND gate, and we're going to output the result into the respawn of this controller sensor, and the signal is going to go into the AND gate signal from the signal manipulator. And then the laser scope, we need a NOT gate, and the hit something is going to go into the NOT gate, and we probably want a timer, and this NOT gate is going to go to the start timer. This is going to be speed, and we want it to take about, let's say, 2 seconds to respawn after it's thrown off a cliff or something. And then timer finished, pulse is going to go into the AND gate of the one that's respawning it. So let's see if that works. I don't think it's working. Why isn't it working? Oh, you know what? Because it's the laser scope is detecting itself, so we don't want it to detect objects, so because we don't want it to detect the crate itself. That should work. That gets me every time. It's so loud. And it still isn't responding? Why is this? I guess this isn't gonna work this way. I guess it doesn't want to respawn, unfortunately. You'd probably want to set up an emitter system or something like that. I'm not sure. It really depends on your setup. So, if you want to see that, I guess that'd be for a future tutorial, but we pretty much got everything we want now. We can throw the crate, we can pick it up, we can get invincibility, and we can get hovering and double jumping. So, let's see. Let's go ahead and run through this one last time. Well, there we go, guys. We got invincibility, hovering, and picking up and throwing crates. So, I hope you enjoyed that tutorial. Like, comment, and subscribe. And also, I have a Patreon now, so if you want to support me, there's a link to that in the description. Got a cool Discord server where you can get direct help from me. I don't check comments that much frequently, because it takes a lot of effort to check all the comments I get. So I respond a lot more to Discord messages, especially the ones from my server. So if you need help with anything, I would suggest finding a way to contact me through Discord or joining my Discord server through Patreon. Yeah, so thank you. Bye, everyone. Bye.